Hey friends, thanks for coming back again to the channel. So this is going to be kind of part two-ish. If you watched my other video about the client and original program, so that was this one here, the messaging app that allows multiple computers on the same server or the same network to kind of talk to one another, then this is going to be an extension of that video. This was actually a project that I had to do for work. So the way it works is pretty simple. I have, at my work, we have these rooms that players can go into. They're escape rooms. And in each escape room, there is a kiosk. And that kiosk has a screen on it. And my management wanted me to be able to show a video on the screen, but have it be controlled from a different part of the building, the control room, essentially. So we have what's called a game master that should be able to press a button and turn on the video remotely for players to watch, and then be able to start the game after that without having to be in the room itself. And so I needed to develop a program that would do that. And so I started off with the last video applications, the client and the server that kind of talk to one another, and then I took that and then it just basically upgraded it a whole ton. Now they're all in the same repo. So you'll see client original. If you copy the repo, you'll see client original and server original. Those are the original messaging apps that I just showed kind of at the beginning of this video. And in the last video, I went into a little bit more detail. For the newer portion of the project, that would be client master, client slave, and server. Those three applications all working in tandem together is this new program. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. If you want to change them, if you don't know how to do this, it's simply at the start button up here at the top, go to set startup projects, and I'm just going to switch these. So I'm going to turn this one, I'm going to turn the slave on, I'm going to turn the master on, I'm going to turn the original off, I'm going to turn the server on, and I'm going to turn the server original off, and then hit apply and OK. And then when I start this, I should get a new set of applications starting up. All right. So essentially what I've got here is this program right here on the left-hand side. This is the client. This would be appearing on the kiosk. My company is called PanIQ Room, by the way. So this would be showing up on each one of the kiosks themselves. All right. Now this is I haven't really modified this program yet, or this application. Ideally, none of this would be available for the users or the players to access. In fact, this would just start minimized. But for intents and purposes right now, I just want to kind of show you what it looks like as is. So this is the kiosk client program. Over here is the video player program that the control room would have access to. And then all of it is run by the server program right here. So you can see here in the server is actually the program that kind of facilitates communication between these two guys. And this, the client on the left and the video player on the right, they're actually both technically, as far as the TCP server is concerned, they're both clients, except they just have different roles as clients. And this one is kind of made to look like it is more of a server when it really isn't. And I'll show you what I mean. So this is the actual server, and it's running on this particular port right here. Okay, and so I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste it here. There we go. So when I connect this, it's already connected to the server. Even though it doesn't show up here necessarily, it is connected to the server. So you'll see that it shows the slave, and that's my computer name, added to the client list. So the server actually contains a list of all the clients that are connected to it. And then over here, the video player is just simply a connect button. Now, the reason I did this was because this program here was going to be running in the control room, and it had to be very user-friendly. So it had to be made in such a way that the game masters in the control room could not mess it up, even on accident. So there's nothing you can do here except for hit the connect button. And it should connect, hopefully, but I think my IP address has changed. So that's going to be obviously a problem. And we'll fix that right now in just a second. I'll actually show you how to do that real quick. So if you want to run this program yourself, what you're going to need to do is, let's open up this client master. There we go. And we're going to go to client master, and we're going to look at the code here. All right, so you'll notice right there, that is the IP address that it needs to be running on. But in fact, that is not the IP address that it is running on. So let's take a look and see what our IP address actually is, because I already forgot what it was. Let's see. Oh, there we go. It should be, oh, that's it. 192.168.1.103. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste that in here instead. There we go. You'll notice that this is a constant string connection. And so again, this is designed for the developer to go in and change this IP address to the IP address of that particular, of wherever the server is running from. So now if I start this, we should be able to connect without any kind of a problem. So that's .1.103. Yep, there we go. And so if I hit connect here, there we go. We are connected. So you notice that the buttons now populate up here, and I don't have any clients connected yet. And this, of course, is the kiosk, is the client. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the IP address there to connect it. There we go. And you'll see over here, now I've got a message saying that this client is connected, and there it is right there in the list. And so I can click on that room, and then I can set it to do whatever it is that I need to do. Now, again, it's had to be extremely user-friendly and engineered against accidental breakage. So I've got 3 buttons. You can refresh the list, and it basically just refreshes all the rooms that are in the list that you can select. You've got a play button so that you can play the video, and then you've got a stop button so you can stop the video if you accidentally played it for whatever reason. And I'll talk about the play thing in just a second, but essentially what it does is if I hit play, it sends a message to the client to start VLC with a particular video playing. And it should play right there. There we go. Yep, that's it. That's me. That's the video I made just for testing purposes. So that's it. That's essentially what it does. It just plays and stops videos. And if I disconnect a client, then it removes itself from the list. And then you can see obviously that there's no clients connected, and that would give the control room the information that, like, oh, for whatever reason that computer went down. And then they would have to go to that kiosk obviously and restart that application. Future modifications might be the ability to start the application remotely, but for right now it's not a huge deal because that typically isn't a problem. So anyways, again, with the server itself, the server works kind of the same way as the client and server from the last program that I did, where it sends messages in headers. And of course, they're like fakey headers. So you can see right here, the request name with the plus makes a return again. And this is the header for the message. And then the plus is the delimiter that kind of separates it. And then anything after that is the actual message. And so you'll see that same thing here. I've got another one. This is refresh list. So in the event that, like, the client master wants to refresh the list of clients that are connected to it, it sends this header, and then the server will send the list of all the clients that are connected to it. Okay, and then it's got a whole bunch of other different types of header versions in here. So request name master, request name slave list, stuff like that. And then of course, this one hasn't really been used too much just yet, but the idea was to have an option for like an admin mode to send a command that would run in like the command prompt on Windows. And so you would use the header command to send the whatever command you wanted to run on that client computer, and then it would run that command using this as the header message to let it know that that's what it needed to do. And then of course the client master form itself is a little bit more complicated, or I should say complex, just because of all the different things that it can do. So you can see, like, you know, the request name, you've got all these different header values that can come in. You can take a look at the program on your own. It's not super complicated, it's just got a lot of different things in it so that they can talk to one another. Again, as I mentioned before with the headers and stuff, that was just kind of like an easy, quick way to make it work instead of having to like make actual messages with real headers in them. Now the playing video thing, what it does is we have obviously selecting the room. When the user selects a room and then presses the play button, it will send the message to play the video. Now that sending the message to play the video looks like this. It's a command with the plus, and then the connection that it's sending it to, and then of course the play command right there. And the server will send that forward to whichever IP address that it needs to send it to. So this is the command, of course, and it's looking for the IP address. So it finds that IP address and then it sends it to that. All right. And then the client itself, let me bring that up real quick. The client itself, once it gets that command, it's looking for play. There we go. If it contains play, then we're going to go to this method, start intro video. And the start intro video method, this is where it uses, or I should say that this is its own specific object or whatever. It uses this process start info built in that, or a library that essentially sends in just a string of arguments, and then that string of arguments tells something in the computer to do something. So I had to look all these up, but basically what it does is it starts VLC in full screen. It doesn't show the video title. It doesn't show the controller, and it plays this video, intro video.mp4. It stops after 10 seconds, because that's about how long this video is, and then it kills the VLC task. So essentially what it does is it opens up VLC in all of these different parameters. It runs this video. After 10 seconds, it stops VLC, it stops the video, and then it shuts it down so that it completely disappears from the screen. And the reason I wanted to do that was because typically on the kiosk programs here at work, or the kiosk screens here at work, we have a program that's already running. So this just runs on top of it, and then when it's done, it kills it, and then it goes right back to the program that was underneath it. So the players are none the wiser. They have no idea what actually just happened. They have no idea that any video was playing separate or anything like that. All they see is videos playing, or they see a video play, and then it goes right back to the main kiosk screen. So it's pretty simple in its execution. I mean, obviously this looks fairly complex, but it's really not all that difficult when it comes down to it. It's just used a whole bunch of commands, and it used a lot of Windows workarounds to make something happen, which I thought was kind of cool. It was like, I mean, if, like, instead of having to completely write a whole program from scratch, I found this really easy and just as fast workaround. As you can see, I'll run it again real fast for you. You can see easily that this runs almost in an instant. Let me see if I got, yeah, there we go. And it's 9001, so connect. So when I select the room, I mean, this has been tested on an actual network too, so it runs just as fast. But as soon as I hit the play button, I get VLC pulled up almost instantly. There it is. And so you can see, like, proof of concept, it totally works just fine, and no one is any the wiser. So, and this was done, like, I did this because I needed to basically be a development team of one, and I had to get this done in like maybe a week and a half's time. And so this is what I did mostly for that time, is just researching, pulling this stuff together, figuring out what all these commands are, et cetera, et cetera. So if this helps you in any way, please feel free to use it. Enjoy. There are some things obviously you're going to have to change, like for instance in the command runner object here, where it says intro video.mp4, you're going to have to change that to the video that you needed to play. Also, this video is just intro video.mp4 because this program was also in the same folder as the video. If the video is in a different folder, you're going to need to put that actual folder in there. So things like that you'll have to change up a little bit, but it's not super difficult. I may add those in as comments a little bit later on. But yeah, there you go. So that's basically what I've been working on these last couple months, along with something else too, which I'll show in another video in a little bit. But hopefully you enjoyed this. I didn't prattle on too much. But yeah, if you end up finding this to be useful in any way, please drop me a comment, let me know. Feel free to fork or copy the repo, use it as you will. I'm not greedy or anything like that. There's no license to this. I just try to help people. So anyways, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all of your subscriptions and everything. You guys are awesome. And hope to see you in the next video.